happening? I can't hear anything. What's happening? Damn it, did I turn this off? I'm sure it uses the monitor again, the speakers. Who cares? Hello everyone, and thanks for hanging out with me. It's Let's Talk EV almost every Sunday at 7:20 p.m. Right now it's almost every 2 weeks, I would say. Let me fix this first, because that's annoying. I don't like sound coming from somewhere else. Am I right? Yes, it's using the stupid monitor as a speaker. Yeah. Happy Sunday, he's right. Good evening, Groam, who Oli is here, YouTube members, and we have Photostorm, who's a Patreon. As always, as you can see, a channel membership here on YouTube and Patreon to support the channel. I appreciate it very much. We're gonna... I think I figured out the issue with the Id.7's headlight. There was an issue. I don't know what issue there was. We are going to go through the news. As always, our main topic is today I drove a test with the Id.7 against an Id.3 Pro S, which was very interesting. And of course, there will be a video this week. I don't know if it will be on Tuesday or Thursday, but I want to talk about everything today, because that's always fun, and you guys are always so nice to be here on a Sunday to spend the time with me. That's so nice. But first, let's go through, and then we talk about what happened the last 2 weeks. Not much. And then what's going to happen in the next week or more. Yes, let's go in the news. First, here we have Polestar starts... ordering process of the Polestar 4. In Germany, it starts at around 62,000 euros for the rear wheel drive, which doesn't have too much power, but for 8,000 euros more, you get the 200 kilowatt, I remembered, and 8,000 more to get the all-wheel drive with twice 200 kilowatt. That's the stuff. DC charge with 200 kilowatt AC. You can have, it doesn't have it automatically, you have to order it. We have 22 kilowatt AC, usually it's 11. Vehicle to load, that's cool. And it doesn't have a rear view window anymore. You have to do it with a camera in here. We'll see how that is. I hope I can drive it at some point. We'll see if this will happen. Polestar is not very fast when it comes to if I ask them if they want to invite me to something, or if I can have a car. They give me cars at some point, but I'm not on top of the list, and that's okay. Then BMW is bringing other motors to the i5 and the iX2. There will be an i5 with 240 kilowatt with 290, and the i5 M60 is already available. Well, I think those two are already available. 442 kilowatts, 600 something horsepower. That's the stuff. 230. Oh my god, all have the same battery, and of course the lowest power one has the highest WLTP range of 582 kilometers, which is okay, but not extraordinary for a limousine with 80 to 81 kilowatt hour. But I don't know if the 81 is net, but I think so. I think it's net capacity. And the iX2 will have a 65 kilowatt hour battery. Sorry, 150 kilowatt rear wheel drive and 230 all wheel. Sounds the same as the iX1, but fine. Dan Smart wants to do a hashtag sixth, I don't know why I say that, 6 that will be a limousine. That's interesting. I asked Smart, by the way, about the hashtag 2 or no, hashtag 1 or hashtag 3 to get a press car, and I don't know, not so much talk there. And by the way, BMW, I'm in talk with to get an i4 xDrive 40, an iX2 and an i5. They're planning around April. Around that, they will try to give me the cars. I'm guessing just a week each car, but after each other. So someone will come with one car and takes the other car home. That's always the easiest and the cheapest also. Then the Kia EV3 should come earlier, but the EV4 will be delayed. The EV3 should come in the second half of 2024 and the EV4 in the beginning of 25. I think the EV3 is this one here. and the EV4 is more like the EV9. So the EV3 is more a bit of a mix, a bit SUV, but not fully SUV as the 9. Then world premiere was this week of the Porsche Macan, or was it last week? I think it was last week. And it has the new platform, has a 100 kilowatt hour battery, 470 kilowatt power if you need that, 639 horsepower, 1130 Newton meters. Yeah, I was surprised that a lot of people are watching the videos about it. It's always interesting, but that's just a car that nobody buys because it won't be very cheap. It's not a car that everyone will use, and it's just a Taycan, but high, so SUV form. I get it, but awesome. What difference? 22 WTL LTP kilometers. What difference to what? To the Taycan? Yeah. But interesting. I doubt I will ever drive this car. I never drove a Taycan. Porsche doesn't give me a car, and they flat out told me, you're too small, you're not getting a car. And I like the honesty. Just not saying anything is just weird. Even though I know someone who knows the guy who does the Porsche thing, and he talked to him, and still I didn't get it. Then Volkswagen still has problems with not having enough motors for the new models, ID.4, ID.5, and Q4 e-tron with the new motor. They're still getting the motors that they have mostly to the ID.7. Skoda Enyaq, of course, is the same, the new 85. We talk about that as well. Then Nissan Leaf. Yes, that's another thing. Nissan Leaf has been now lowered the price to 27,687 euros in Germany, which is really okay for the 39 kilowatt hour battery. Front wheel drive, as far as I remember. I'm not sure. I think it had front wheel drive back in the day. Yeah, but still CHAdeMO, and charges AC with 6.6 kilowatt and DC with 50. That's not amazing, but it's a solid car. Yes, and I wanted to talk to you about, since we're here, a company wrote me, hey, we have produced, or we have in stock, we want you to test CHAdeMO to, CCS to CHAdeMO adapter. So you can plug in at any CCS charging station this adapter, and then you can plug it into your CHAdeMO car. But I don't know anyone who has a car that charges with CHAdeMO. Is there anyone out there in the near vicinity of where I live, not too far away, so I can test that out? I want to test it on a 50 kilowatt, on a hypercharger, on Ionity, see if it works. How much power do you get? And it would be very interesting if anyone and would be wanting to do that and knows someone, like I said, in the area. So I'm not gonna go on a big trip for this. Then Tesla is, well, that's an estimation. They think about getting the small electric car in 2024. $25,000 should be the price. It will be a compact crossover. Codename Redwood, we'll see. We know with Tesla, when it comes to, when they say when the next car is coming, they could take a while. So we're not saying that. EnBW has built 2 new charging stations. They're awesome. They're always making charging hubs, so little parks like you can see here in the picture here. So with 4 or more hyperchargers, they can each charge 2 CCS, mostly 300 or 400 kilowatt chargers, where they separate the power. And I have 2 more, one in the east of Germany and one in Niedersachsen. That's also east of Germany, if I'm correct. I'm not good with geography, especially not in Germany. Then a Macan again. And then Kia, we talked about it too. So this is the EV4. I mean, those wheels are interesting. Those rims, I don't know. The form also with the things, but we'll see. But it will be very interesting. And what this is interesting. I had no idea about that. Volvo EX30 deliveries are postponed due to software issue. Customer of Volvo cheapest car have to wait a little longer to take delivery as the fix can't be done over the air. That's okay, that happens. It's all good. They will do that. I'm invited to drive the EX30 in... Where are we? February 4th on February 22nd. I will go with Matthias to Hamburg on the 21st, stay overnight, and then next day we can drive, I think, for 4 hours or so. Something like this, and then we have to give it back. So I hope I can do a little range test and a little driving test, and you know me, all the stuff that I can do a bit. Then Ionity charging. Is there anything new in my area? Linz is still the same. Anything new up here to Dresden? No, still missing. To Hamburg maybe, up here, no. We still don't know how we drive, if we go over Hanover or if we go over Berlin. It's shorter with Hanover, but usually if we have to go through here, the A7 here, there's always traffic jam. So if the hotel is around here and if we can go off here, then we most likely go over Hanover. Then the Netherlands, around here. Where's my Eindhoven? Yeah, Cindy is going there soon. And Cindy was in London, by the way, last week. That was fun for her. And then France is full. Awesome. Almost no new charger because they have everything. And Spain is getting full. Ionity is doing well. The same as in Italy. Look at around Rome. That's really awesome. That's going good. Norway is pretty full. Sweden is getting full. Look at that. That's awesome. Finland too. Wow, that looks great. That looks great. Yep. Okay, what did you guys say? Well, I think I figured out. Yeah, I thought that. Nubbin. Greetings from Holland. Greetings from Germany. Hello, for your information, Id.4 user finally getting over the air updates. Yeah, I saw something that they're finally getting the plug-in charge, but they don't get vehicle to home yet. Björn thinks your channel is nerdy. I heard that. Someone sent that to me. Very, very nice. I'm a nerd. He's totally correct. The initial inclination of the low beam of Id.7 is quite large, almost 2 degrees. This is why you find it illuminating less area than the one of Id.3. As per regulation, the inclination could have been as low as 1 degree, which would make the low beam much better. Yeah, someone told me that too, that there's new regulation and maybe that's why the light doesn't... But I am used to it now. The light is fine. It's a great light. I'm trying to make the light video of Id.7 this week on Wednesday. There's a plan. I have to pick up Finnegan from my parents in the evening. And I thought on the way there, I'm gonna make the whole light test. So before film the lights inside, outside, and then drive with it, show the high beam assist and everything. Smart press don't seem very communicative. That's true. I emailed a lot of people when I thought I might buy a smart #1 and I never got a reply. I've adjusted inclination of mine. I have bought an Id.7 too. It's much better now. You can adjust it? Where? I can adjust it. Every manufacturer goes to BMW naming scheme, but with different meanings. Will be confusing. Taycan facelift next week. Yes, I heard that too. Interruption with Volkswagen Id.7, Edward. That's good. The shape of low beam cutoff line of Id.7 is very different from any other car Volkswagen made before. This actually makes its performance somehow impaired. Nissan dealer maybe? Yeah, I looked at a Nissan dealer. They gave me a car once, but they were not very happy with me. I think they didn't know that I make back then only my videos in English. And then they were a bit meh. I managed to check out the EX30 at a local dealer last week. Nice car. The interior felt a little small compared to the Id.3. I haven't sat in it, but if it's a copy of the #1, I think it's okay from size-wise. Eindhoven is a high-tech campus. Yeah, the net gets denser. 2 Ionities in a 200 kilometer from my home to my parents. That's awesome. Only 2023 models so far getting plug-in charge from Electrify America. Yeah, I read that. Nothing yet 22, 21. Just joined, caught the stream in the middle with the charger map not showing any increase. There are certainly chargers here, but not Ionity, I guess. What do you think will happen on the European car market in 24 and 25? Will the Chinese manufacturers lower the prices significantly? EA Id.7 is about 30k euro in China. I have no idea. I mean, EU is still thinking about doing an import tax on China if they bring cars here, and that will affect Tesla as well, and Polestar and Volvo and stuff like this. I don't know if this will come, if it's okay. Please stop with the Id.7 videos. You're making me want to sell my Id.3 and buy an Id.7, even though I don't really need such a big car. I was the same. Now, without any joking here, ha ha ha. We have 106 people here. What's going on? We're gonna do the like game in a second. Then I really enjoy the car, and more than I thought I would. Of course, it's not such a big step. I said that in one of my videos, from an crappy ice car that I had before to the Id.3. That was a big step. From comfort, from what it can do, quietness and so on. And then Id.3 to Id.7, I thought it will be just a bit, but when you drive it a bit, it is a lot. And today when I saw the other Id.3 and I remembered, yeah, that's true. An old software 3.2, and then when you see 4, the starting process and what you can do, yeah. So Id.7 and the new software it fits like a glove. Is there a little girl? Do I hear someone? No. Rudy? No. Ah, that looks horrible. I was wrong. Yeah, and it's very, 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 very nice, and I enjoy it immensely every day. Yeah, and we have to talk about it, of course. No sliding rear seats in the EX30, and the wheelbase a little shorter too, so I presume a little more tweaked than the #1 in terms of interior space, exterior dimensions. Huh. We'll see. The import tax is at the moment the same to the EU from the US and China, 10%. Affirmatively, my Id.7 is so much cheaper, actually about 28,000 euros. That's cheap. You can adjust the inclination with a hexagon key. There's a slot in the headlight assembly to adjust. Oh my god, I'm not gonna do that. I'm fine with that, but enjoy yours. Your Id.7 videos are really good. Thank you. I don't think anyone else is covering the car as well as you are. Keep up the great work. Well, it helps when you have the car. Usually people have a car for a week or two, and it helps a lot when you own the car to do more. Where do you have those prices? I think he's in China. I think so. Yes. So let's talk about last week. Then we're gonna talk what's coming next, and then we're gonna talk about the main topic. But first, we're gonna play the like game. There are 107 people here. We have 14 likes. I'm gonna count down from 3 to 0, and then we all gonna press like, because that's a lot of fun. I can do it on my phone too. Then we all press like. Isn't that amazing? Where's my stream? Let's get to it. That's not there because I'm in my channel. I have to go to the German channel. There we are. I can see myself. Let's do this. I'm gonna count down. 3. Focus on the hand. Come on. 2, 1, and like. I press like too. Ding! I pressed it. 15. Let's close that. Let's see. 22. That's the stuff. If we can get to 50, I'm already happy. I mean, I'm always happy. Of course, in China. I just wish the Id.3 had the same software as the Id.7. I don't need a car as big as the Id.7. Yeah, I thought that too. And I don't need the space. But the comfort function that you get in a limousine that you will never get in a small hatchback, yeah, it's nice. It is nice. 55, I'm very happy. Thank you very much. We're going to do it later as well. I also enjoy your Id.7 videos as well. Really looking forward to the Tourer and the 4-wheel drive models. I'm not looking forward to that much, to be honest. The 4-wheel drive is just 40 kilowatt more. and I drove the Id.5 GTX. I think they could have spiced it up a bit more. Come on, 300 kilowatt at least. That would be nice. The Tourer I get for some people, I just don't need it. I don't need more space. It's gigantic. It is gigantic, that car. Looking forward to swap my R56 Coupe S for the new SE in a few months. Will you review it? I asked Mini if they want to give me a car. They said, hey, we're gonna look at your channel and let you know about it. And it's been 2 months and they haven't written back, so I emailed them again. And I told them, hey, I have a German channel as well. Don't forget, it's not just English anymore. Yeah. It's good to see Volkswagen finally broke its silence on future updates for the earlier versions of the IDOS. Yes, there has been a post from Volkswagen in the ID Drivers Club Facebook group that they're preparing the over-the-air update for 3.2.1. I don't know what this will include, and then 3.7 at some other point. And I guess that 3.2.1 is an update that's smaller and it needed for the 3.7, but I have no idea. I doubt that I will get an update on 4.0 that I have right now. There is a 4.0.1 at the dealer because ID Software 4 could, there's a problem with the ID light, I think, that it could draw power from the 12 volt battery without the battery being recharged, and you could have an empty battery. So far it didn't have any problems, so I'm waiting, and it has to be done at the dealer, not over the update, and that's annoying, and I don't want to do that. That's not my thing. But the first real over-the-air update for ID Software 4.0, I don't expect it in 24. I'm honest. I know Volkswagen now a bit. I mean, I had my Id.3 for 3 years and 3 months, and I had 2 updates. And by the way, I still have to make the video what the Id.3 cost me. I'm gonna make that in my holiday. I have holidays next week. I'm gonna prepare it. Have to put down all the numbers. As you know, I brought Walter back to the dealer on December 16th, and 2 weeks later I got the email from the dealer that they didn't find anything wrong with the car. It's in perfect condition. They have nothing to deduct. And then a week ago, 2 weeks ago, I got the end leasing amount that I have to pay or got back, that you will see in the video. That's very interesting. So the market here is very different from Europe, that even this Id.7 is not quite competitive compared to other D-segment electric cars by local brands. Yes, Volkswagen should make an Id.7R model with 300 kilowatt. Even the 77 kilowatt hour battery can deliver 800 amp, so potentially max at 300 kilowatt. I have no idea why they do this, and I think they don't want to make a very sporty car, but I don't see the point with the all-wheel drive with just 40 kilowatt more. What is that, 60 horsepower more? That's just a bit, but yeah. So, last 2 weeks, what happened? As you have seen, I had I did the Model Y drive, but that was already. That was longer. I had the BMW. I had the Volvo XC40. There's still a charging video that I have to finish. I did the charging curve of the new Volvo battery, which is also the XC40 79 kilowatt hour, the C40, and the Polestar 2. It's all the same battery, and the new charging curve is better than the old ones. And I already prepared the graphs. I just have to make the video. I still have the MG4 standard charging curve video. I have the curve and everything. Again, I have to make the video. Because that's interesting. It's the 50 kilowatt hour battery in the MG4, so charging is a bit important, and it's not too bad. It's not amazing, but it's not too bad. For that size, it's okay. And yes, so the last 2 weeks I had the Ioniq 6 then. Moin, Plauzern. Sag doch mal einer Moin. Yes, I had the Ioniq 6 and it was very interesting. I had to be very nice in the video because I can't be too mean to a car if I don't like it personally, because it annoyed the crap out of me. As you all know, I'm not a fan of beeping, and the new Ioniq 6 is even more beeping. And when you go from ID Software 4.0 to Ioniq 6, Ioniq 5 infotainment system, it feels a bit slow, especially in the starting process. I didn't remember that when I tested Kia EV6 and so on. It was a while ago, and I still had Id.3 with old software, and then it was normal that it took a while. And now I'm used to having fast software, so this is was a bit annoying, especially that the seat heater button is now in the infotainment system. Not a fan at all. I don't like it. Did you see the HI cars on Bern's channel? They come with the GPD connector and a few adapters, and guess how that went? No, I don't watch any electric car videos at all. Private, I watch completely different because this is my topic all the time. When I go full time at some point, I will watch that other channels as well to learn and to see what they do, but right now, no. I just got a new to me Id.3. Would you mind giving some tips for sleeping camping mode? There's a video of Björn Nieland, Nieland. Did it say it right? What you have to do to have a camping mode in there. I think it's weight and the seatbelt has to be on. I don't know how much weight it has to be on the driver's seat. How does the MG4 compare to the Id.3? I love my Id.3, but I'm not sure I can justify the higher price when I come to change it. I made a few videos with the MG4. It drives really nice. So comfort, noise, power in the corner and stuff was all okay. I was totally fine. Consumption was okay. Charging is not amazing, especially when it's a bit colder. The app had a few things that are interesting, but is missing a lot of things. The software overall is not working very well, and I'm saying this as I know how the Id.3 is. So and comfort when it comes to this and options and stuff that you can have in the Id.3, it's not comparable. But I think it's all about opinion. Maybe you don't need a head-up display. Maybe you don't want electric massage, whatever seats. So you should go and test drive the MG4, see for yourself, and then decide. For me, it was not a car that would be even in interest because again, I just like a bit more comfort, a bit more options. But if it comes to price, then of course it's something different. Everyone is different. Test it and see for yourself. Nice production on the last video. Jealous of your seats with back heat and massage. Very nice. It's very nice. Today when we drove, I had the massage on. No, not by when we did the test, but afterwards had the massage on the way there. Sometimes even in the morning when we go to work, I have the massage on. Seat heating on automatic. It just does it what he wants to do. It knows me well. I really enjoy it. It's and the seats overall in the Id.7 are just not comparable to my Id.3 that I had. I had the comfort seats, not the premium seats, and now of the premium seats in Id.7 is just different how they hold you in place and everything. And the seat heating is totally different. It's way stronger and it feels better. I love it a lot. I'm like I said, I'm enjoying the comfort and I need it. So I'm very happy with my decision. So you can't take me my word for a lot of other cars because I'm getting used more and more to comfort. So there's only a few cars now where I look forward and saying that is even better. And it would be the BMW i7, Q8 e-tron, Audi, Mercedes and stuff like this. But I haven't driven a new Mercedes, so EQS, EQC and so on, EQE. From the looks, the screens and everything look overwhelming to me, but I don't know. I could be different. Do you know yet how different the massage of the Id.7 seat is compared to the Id.3 system? Or then the seat being completely different design? It's completely different. In the Id.3 you have your lumbar support that moves up and down and moves around. In the Id.7 it's little pockets that are filled with air and they go they fill up and they get the air out again. So it's a different function. When you get the premium seats in the Id.7, the massage functions is also on the bottom on your bum. And when you get the comfort seats in the Id.7, it's only in the rear. Can't say which is better. I don't think there's anything is better. But if you want something that moves down like this, I think that an Id.3 is better. But I like the massage function, how it is. I always have it at the same thing, and it's awesome. The Id.3 leasing returns are very cheap in Germany, around 22k for low mileage with matrix lights. Very attractive in my opinion. I guess it has bad reputation, thus lowering the prices. I have no idea. I also don't know what happened to Walter. I have no idea what they do with the car, if they sell it, if they destroy it and get the battery for something else, or if they use it for something else. I have no idea. I asked Volkswagen if I can know, and they even said it's very hard to find out. So no idea what happened to my car and what they're gonna do with it. Yes, Ioniq 6, like I said, I had for 2 weeks, and it's not my thing. They made it worse with the beeping than it was before. I like the Kona more, because Kona you can do more, and it had more features that I like than the Ioniq 6. But what I have to say is Ioniq 6 is still amazing when it comes to charging. If the battery is warm, I figured out at the end what to do to get the battery warm when you're navigating to a charger, and it's not good. It's annoying. They could have done that way better. And but if it's warm, it charges amazing. And I still, even though we did a test and the consumption was the same, and I even said at the end, I think the consumption is the same. Now that I've seen other tests and I've did a bit more driving with the Ioniq 6, I think that the consumption overall and the range is more than in the Id.7. But I'm okay with it. Id.7 is heavier, has way more comfort functions, but when it comes to range and charging, Ioniq 6 is better. Yes. And it has great stuff. It's just not my thing at all. There was so much annoying things, and every time, I mean, that even the seat heating turns off when you just turn the car off for a second. Even that alone is just annoying. And then how you get into there. At which state of charge percentage the turtle mode starts in the Id.7? I think that has to do with the battery temperature. So when the battery is warm, even at 1%, I think it's fine. I have never seen it. I have seen it in my Id.3 once, even though I drove it down to 2% or so. So I have no idea when turtle mode comes. I think battery has to be cold. I think there's enough buffer. And I've seen that in my tests as well. So it should be a 77 kilowatt hour battery, but so far in my tests, when I drive down even to 5% or so, I get only 74 kilowatt hours from my tests. So I think there's a big buffer underneath. Yes, we did this. Then what's coming up next week's? Next week is, like I said, holiday. This week is nothing. Like I said, I filmed a light video. I will try to film something else and more next week on my holidays, when I have a bit more time. I did a video about scheduled charging today, and we did the Id.3 versus Id.7 test today that I will talk to you in a second. Next week on Thursday, which is the 15th February, yes, I will get the Škoda Enyaq 85, which is the new Enyaq with the new motor and software then the same as Id.7 has. So of course we have to do a test. Id.7 against Enyaq, then we have the same software, same motor, same battery, just a different form. Even though I'm pretty sure the Enyaq will come with 20-inch wheels. I'm pretty sure. They always deliver a car with the biggest wheels they have, so it looks nice, because they think it's not about range and consumption, it's more about aesthetics. How does it look like? What does it look like? This is the thing. So I'm pretty sure. And I also would love to do, but I can't find anyone. I made a post here on the channel. Today I posted on 2 German Škoda Enyaq forums on Facebook, not forums, groups. If anyone would like to drive a test with me, I would like to have an old ENIAC 80 against the new 85. So, and it would be amazing if it would be the same tires. We won't have the same rims, I'm pretty sure they're updated. But it would be amazing to have both cars driving at the same time to see what the new motor really does when it comes to consumption. That would be very interesting. I would love to see that. It's hard to get it again with the exact same, yeah, 80X. That's all-wheel drive. I need an 80. That would be so nice. I spent the whole weekend with an Id.7, recognized the weird climate you mentioned as well. As long as the car reached the desired temperature, cold air will blow into the cabin. You wrote something underneath, but I can see it. Not nice. No, and I don't know if it's the software. If it's, yeah, now it's warm. Now we maintain the temperature and then it's cold air. And it's better when you don't use auto, when you use just to the feet and to the window. So when it's not coming out of the middle. Or because the car is so big that you feel it more. I don't know. Yeah. Oh, by the way, is Rico still here? He was the one who drove with me with the Id.3 today. I had a mistake in my Id.7. I still had the seat belts for the dogs in the rear. That means that the rear was being heated up by the heating system as well. So when you have a seat belt in the rear inserted, then you cannot turn off the heat for the rear. They will be heated up the same way as the front. And of course, that's then higher consumption for heat. I don't think it's a lot, but it's, I'm sure, way more than just the driver's seat. So that I totally forgot about that. I forget that all the time because it's annoying to plug that back in when I bring the dogs. I only drive once a week to work without the dogs, and so I just leave it in. So it has a bit of higher consumption. I can live with that. So yeah, this is coming up, and like I said, BMW should come up hopefully in April, but it's nothing set yet. Id.4 or Id.5 with the new motor will be delayed to March, but I don't have a time slot yet. ENIAC can have 3-zone climate. Yes, ENIAC 85 has 19, 85X has 20 rims. So the ENIAC 85 cannot have 20-inch wheels? Are you sure? Are you sure? So, and the 22nd, like I said, will go to the Volvo EX30 in Hamburg. I was invited to a Volkswagen event. I think this would be this week. That I declined. It was to go flying to Mallorca and look, not drive, look at the Id.3 GTX, at the Id.7 GTX, at the Id Bus GTX. And I looked at the time schedule and I had to take holidays and how it's gonna work. And in the beginning it was at the same week as the Volvo EX30, and I told them no, I won't come. I'm not flying to Mallorca for just filming in front of a car that's just standing there. And I find that also not very good when it comes to ecologic things, that a lot of people are flying there and they have to bring the cars there on an island if they can just do it in Wolfsburg or Dresden. I don't know. Standard rims are 19. Yeah, standard rims, but there are 20-inch wheels available, and then the press cars will come with 20-inch wheels. The same as Id.4 came with 21-inch. They think it looks better and they want to show it off. But overall, very nice car. Felt like I could go 2,000 kilometers in one go. Matthias drove the Id.7, and I want to make a video with him what he thinks of the Id.7 as the Model Y driver. And he said after the drive, he did the test with the Ioniq 6 with me. He said it's almost it's almost too comfortable. It makes him sleepy because he doesn't have to do anything and he doesn't have to be concerned that the autopilot, like in Tesla, is doing something weird. Perks being a reviewer, it all depends. It's not always a perk when you have to go to an airport, fly to somewhere, then film something, stay overnight, and next day you go home. Sometimes there's a bit of stress, and when you're still working, you have to take days off and stuff like this. The larger German island, that's correct. That's correct. So, yeah, then we talk about the drive today. Someone sent me a message. Who sent me a message? Who is it? I have to send that to Cindy. Where was I? Yes, today the drive. Very nice. A very nice guy came far away, almost 500 kilometers, 5 hours away with his Id.3 Pro S. 2.5-year-old car. Was it 50,000 or 70,000 kilometers? On the odometer. He came to Passau. He stayed overnight yesterday, and we met today at 9. So nice of him to do that. That's just amazing. I'm very happy. I always wanted to do that to compare the Id.7 and the Id.3 Pro S. Id.3 Pro S back in the day was the highest range ID Volkswagen car available till the Id.7 came along. And they have the same battery. I'm pretty sure the Id.7 battery is a bit updated. It's not the exact same battery, but same capacity, different software, different motors, and different form, of course. We both had 19-inch wheels, but my 19-inch summer tires are just way bigger. I have 235 in the front, 255 in the rear, and he had 215 all over. We drove with 21 degrees with the climate, and like I said, I forgot to turn off the rear, so I heated up almost the whole car, and he just had the eco function as always. We both didn't have a heat pump. That's awesome. He had an amazing car. His Id.3 Pro S has nothing. It doesn't have matrix LED light, no electric seats, no rain sensor, no travel assist, no adaptive cruise control. What else? No seat heater. I had no idea that there's an Id.3 without seat heater. Car scanner with Björn's e-tron 45 Quattro test car showed over 77 kilowatt hour available capacity. When I look in Hank, it says 77,000 watt hours. So the exact zero. So not a weird number, almost 77 kilowatt hours. It shows exactly. So I don't think this is a real number. It's just something that the battery tells you and thinks you should have. Yes, then what else? We both drove, he drove 15 minutes, I drove 25 minutes to the charger. I didn't heat up the battery. He charged from 30 to 80%. Before we drove, I charged from 62, I think, to 80. But after charging, my battery showed that because of charging, it's warm. So I'm guessing the battery was heated up with the Id.7 to have better charging power. Even though I didn't get a lot of power. I think the peak was 57 or so, so the battery was really cold. But I think it was heated up because, again, it showed then afterwards at 80% when we were driving on with the test, your battery is at perfect temperature for fast charging. It was the capacity that counted up when charging. And where was I? Yes, we started the test, like I said, at 80%, drove with the same speed behind each other. We changed position as always. And drove 130 if we could. A few times we had to slow down, and it was raining in the beginning a bit. Wet. The road was wet, and then it stopped raining, but the road was still wet for the whole drive. And very interesting to me, and I loved it. At the turnaround point, I had almost the same consumption that I had with the other tests. So I love the consistency of the Id.7. I had 56% when we turned around and 235 watt hours per kilometer consumption. In the Id.3, which is 2.5 years old, 70,000 kilometers. I don't know if I remember that right. He told me. I think it was 70,000. 70,000 kilometers. And so I'm sure it will have a degradation. He says he thought he saw a number of 6%. I don't know if this is then the real number that it is. He saw it somewhere. I was at 56, he was at 54% when we turned around. So he used 26% to drive the first 75 kilometers. I used 24. And he had a consumption of 244 watt hours per kilometer. I had 235. Then we turned around. Again, we switched places twice. And we drove with around 110 back. It was, of course, hard for him since he doesn't have a adaptive cruise control. He used the speed limiter to just floor it and had the speed limiter at 110 or 130, and then it just stays there. And then we arrived at the charger. I arrived with 37%. He arrived with 34? 33? Oh my God. I think 33 or 32%. He arrived. I have to look. I don't know. I think it was 32. So 5% different when we arrived. My consumption at the end was 205 watt hours per kilometer. His was 211. So at 130, Id.7 has an advantage, and I see that with most cars that Id.7 has less consumption at 130. So in comparison to other cars than at 110. That's very interesting. Then we had bad luck. The charger, the Ionity charger that we were, had only 2 chargers where the display is working, and I wanted the display to work since I want to see the charging power and how many kilowatt hours have been charged to film that. And one of those chargers was occupied, so we had to drive to the other chargers to the other side. And then I arrived with 35%, he arrived with 30%. We plugged in, he got 77 kilowatt, I got 100 kilowatt. So he got 77 at 30%, I got 100 kilowatt at 35% of charging power. And then mine went a bit up to 108. And when we arrived before charging, again, my battery temperature was, I would say, at 60% of what I can see there, 60, 65. And since he only had 77 kilowatt and it even went down, I think it was 70 and went up to 78. It was the peak. I don't think that the Id.3 heated up the battery at all. And I think the Id.7 heated up the battery, because the interesting part was at the end that the Id.7 charged 36.8 kilowatt hours. I think it was exactly 36.817. And the Id.3 charged 10 minutes longer to get to the 80% from 30. It took 34 minutes, and the Id.7 took 24 minutes from 35 to 80. And the Id.3 charged 36.78. So less, and 0.03 kilowatt hours. So the same. And since I drove, I started charging at 35, he started charging at 30. I'm pretty sure again that the Id.7 heated up the battery while charging, which shows me that when we did the drive Id.3 versus Model Y, where all the Tesla people said, hey, you can't say that the Model Y had such a high charging cost, so many kilowatt hours charged because it heated up the battery. But this shows me that the Id.7 also heated up the battery. Just saying. So both cars, Model Y and Id.7, it was colder that day, and we also arrived with around 36%. So I'm pretty sure Id.7 heated up the battery when we charged, when we did the drive against the Model Y, and the Model Y also. So the higher consumption, the higher kilowatt hours that the Model Y had, means that either the Model Y is lying when it comes to the consumption shown in the car, or it's heating up its battery with way more power, or needs way more power to get a better charging power. I'm just saying that. ENIAC heats up the battery while charging. Just check with car scanner. Yeah, that's always nice, but when you're filming stuff like this, it's always hard, especially in the Model Y. Wait, you don't have an OBD port, don't you? It's a bit hard to do, and there's other stuff that you have to do. And so I'm pretty sure Id.7 today heated up the battery, and that's why it should have had 1.5 or 2 kilowatt hours less while charging. But it was very interesting to see. It was a nice test, lower consumption and even better efficiency at higher speeds compared to the Id.3, so that was nice. All the original equipped summer tires on ID models have very low rolling resistance coefficient, usually less than 6.5. I don't know what I do with it. Id.7 was massive letdown with winter range test losing about 50% of range. I didn't have that, but I also didn't drive at -10 or so. I drove at -5, I think. Sure, you have. Tesla Burn showed the location in Model 3. Oh, there is. I have no idea. No idea. But again, we had other things to do than this. I'm sure people know how many kilowatt hours and with how much power the battery is being heated up in the Model Y. And in Id.7 it's with 5 kilowatt. I still think that the Model Y didn't show the right number for consumption. I said it. I think it's a lower consumption. It doesn't, I don't know, it's missing, it's leaving out stuff. I don't think it's the heat, it would be more. Yes, I don't, I would love to redo this in the summer, and then nobody can say that it has anything to do with heating. The same with the Ioniq 6. This is all just better to do all of those tests in the summer, by the way. And when it comes to battery temperature, ID lost only 31% enough test comparable to Model 3 with 29 or so. Yeah, 50%. I think what people are thinking about is the WLTP range of 612 kilometers, and then in the winter when they do a test it's 300 kilometers, and then that's 50%. But in the summer it also doesn't have 612 kilometers of range when you drive on the highway. I had in my test on a cold day, foggy day, not great day, 300 kilometers. Back then I thought that's not a lot, but I drove a few other cars, including the Ioniq 6, and I think it was a good number with the 300. Oh yes, there's one thing more that will be interesting to some people. But before that, we do another like game. We have 107 people here, 78 likes. Can we get to 100 likes? Come on, it's only 22. I'm sure there are 22 people there that haven't pressed the like yet. Let's do that all together. I'm gonna count down from 3 to 0. 3 to 1, there wouldn't be anything. Then you get your tablet, your smartphone, or in front of you on your computer, you just press like. That's all nice, isn't it, huh? If we get to 100, I'll leave you alone, I swear. Let's do this. 3, 2, 1, and like. Can we get to 100? Come on. Yes, I talked to Tesla. So not to Tesla itself. It was it's a service center in Regensburg, and they of course have the Model 3, the new Highland version, and 85. And I would love to test it, of course. And I asked them, I would love to do a comparison of the Tesla Model 3 Highland consumption comparison to the Volkswagen ID.7. Can we do this? I know you give out car maybe an hour. That's not a lot of time. Can I have it longer? And they wrote back, I have to ask the blah, 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 blah. And then they replied, I can have it for 4 hours. So in my holidays next week, Cindy and I will go to Regensburg, get the Model 3 Highland, drive to a charger nearby, drive a charge to 80%, do a 100 kilometer drive, not 150 than usually, because it's limited time. Charge it back to 80%, and then we'll see what consumption difference is. And then again, people will say it heated up the battery, blah, blah, blah. It's fine. When I click it again, one like is removed. That's true. Afterwards, I want to make a little test drive with the Model 3. How does it drive? How's the power and everything without thinking about consumption? I already looked at the car at the Munich Motor Show, and now it's about driving. Is the suspension better than in the old car? Better than the Model Y? Because it wasn't that amazing. Yes. That's gonna happen hopefully next week. It's not set yet. I will write them. Cindy hasn't told me yet when would be the best thing to do. Have you seen the new GridSurf charging hub at Gatwick Airport in the UK? First and at an international airport in Europe. I was there for the opening. What's a GridSurf charging hub? What does it do different than a normal charging hub? Do you know which Model 3 it will be? So it will be, I'm sure, a long range all-wheel drive. I'm pretty sure. That's the standard that they have to show off. So the same as the Model Y that I had from Matthias, just as a Model 3 form, and heat pump and the new stuff and everything. We'll see. You have an efficient car. The loss will be high if you need a fixed amount of power to heat the cabin. That's correct. But still, I think that's gonna be fun. It's gonna be a great video. Cindy's gonna drive Hank and I'm gonna drive the Model 3. That will be interesting. She never did. I have to show her cruise control. It's like a highway service station, but purely for EVs. Cool. That's cool. So, this is what's coming up. We talked about Volkswagen Id.3 against Id.7. Consumption is lower, but because of, that's the ballpark, but because of battery heating, at the end you charge the same. But I was done 10 minutes earlier, but also 35%, and he started at 30%. My peak, I think, was 108 kilowatt, starting at 35 with a cold battery, and his peak, I think, was 78. So 30 kilowatts less. And also what I noticed, today was not cold. I think we had +5 to +6 degrees, wet, but not cold. And when we started to drive with 130, my batteries, like I said it's at optimum temperature. And when we turned around, it already went down, I think from 100% to 75%. And then with 110 back, it went down to, like I said before, 60, 65. So I really think that so 130 even at 6 degrees doesn't keep the battery warm for fast charging. You need that battery heater if this is important to you. If you want perfect charging power, if you have to get to your destination as fast as possible, but then of course you lose a bit of range and have a bit of higher consumption. It heats up with 5 kilowatt if you press the button, and it heats up with less power if you're navigating to a charger. It just does it very gradually till you're there. That's done very nicely. I like that. Why would you, and it makes sense, why would you, when you have 200 kilometers to a charger, heat it up with 5 kilowatt to very hot, then it cools down, and then you heat it up again? If you just heat it up with little power, just a bit, to the level that you need, when you're there, it's perfect. So with 1.5 kilowatt, but just a bit, makes more sense. I like that. So what else? I think that's it. Like I said, this week will be this video against the Id.3. Then the Lite, hopefully I will do Id.7 Lite finally, and scheduled charging. And then next week, like I said, will be the Skoda Enyaq. That will be fun. I have to ask Cindy if we're gonna do a drive together again. She's gonna be again the whole time. It's annoying. And when we do the test with the Id.7 with her, there will be the dogs in the back, and the heat will be on for the back. That's just how it is. I don't care. I don't know if Model 3 has that, by the way, that it just heats up the driver. I have no idea if Model 3 or Model Y have that. No idea. Okay, I think that's it for me for today. We did a nice hour. I talked A lot? You didn't say anything? I mean, what the hell? It's nice when I slam on the table. It's like an earthquake for you. I'm sorry. Yes, we'll see each other this week at least 3 times. And then hopefully next week as well, on Sunday in the live stream. I think so. If we don't go away, which is not planned, then for sure you will see me next week. And then we talk about the ENIAC a bit. The doggos could watch YouTube in the back of the Model 3. That's correct. They could. They don't care. Just drive with her somewhere nice, not only a charger. Nah. She's gone all the time. She was in London and she's gonna be in Eindhoven. So she's flying everywhere. She's looking at stuff. We wanted to go together, and we want to visit. I wanted to visit Jill, but I have to work. The week exactly when this is, my coworker is on holidays and I have to work on that Friday, so I can't go. She has to go alone. Otherwise, we would have used Hank, or maybe we have a press car and drove with that. So then I will bring her to the airport in the morning, or if I have a press car, she drives with Hank, and I just go with the press car to work. So yeah, that's it for me. You all take care. Thank you very much for being here. I see you soon. See ya. For wrong button. Why can I still not hear this?